everyone. Happy Wednesday. We are live at 5. How is everyone? We're getting close to ending the summer, and I'm so bummed, but I love the change of seasons, right? So I like the fall, and I like when things get a little less hot and sweater weather and stuff like that, right? So welcome back. My name is Cheryl Hager. I own my own residential cleaning company called Made Bright out of Boston, Mass. And I also am the founder of Sisters Who Scale, and I help cleaning business owners drop them off. What does that mean? I get them out of the field. I help them scale their revenues, grow their teams, create their systems, and create the business of their dreams without feeling like you're the bottleneck all the time, that everything has to go through you, right? So today we're going to be talking about the belief ceiling and why people will never hit 50,000 months until they fix this. In this training, I'm going to show you the exact belief that keeps owners stuck in between $8,000 and $15,000 a month, and why it silently caps you the second you get close to those 20,000, 30,000 months, and how to break it so your income can finally catch up to your effort. So I need you all to hear something. If you're watching this live, say hi, let me know who's on. I love to know who's on. I love to know where you're from. I love to know the names of your cleaning companies. It's cool because we get to talk. I'm still doing a live at 5, and this is the only time that you get to talk to me during the week. So I need you to hear something before we start. I want to tell everyone you're not stuck because of your market. You're not stuck because good employees don't exist anymore. You're not stuck because the economy is bad, or your town is too small, or your clients won't pay more. You are stuck because somewhere in you there is a number, a version of yourself, a mental size of your business, and you do not believe deep down that you are allowed to go past it. I call that your belief ceiling, and here's what makes it dangerous. It does not feel like belief. It feels like a fact to you. It shows up dressed as logic. Things like, my market can't support higher prices. How many of you have said this to yourself? Or, I'm not a leader. I'm better in the field. I'm better cleaning. Or, $1 million cleaning business is for other people, not someone like me. Who has said that? Those things like that, those are not facts. Those are the walls of your belief ceiling, and you built every single one of them yourself out of fear, out of what you saw growing up, out of every time someone told you to be realistic. I hate that. Your business will never out earn that ceiling, and not because you can't, because you actually are not letting it happen. So look at the numbers for a second. Most owners get stuck in the exact 3 same zones: 5,000 a month, 8,000 a month, 12,000, 15K, and 25K to 30K. Those are the sticking points. Those are not market limits. Those are ceilings. Those are financial ceilings, right? And you're not mentally letting yourself go beyond that until you actually change that. So here's the part that most coaches aren't going to tell you. Your P&L, your profit and loss statement, that's not the scoreboard. Your belief is the real scoreboard. Your P&L is just the receipt of your belief. So think about that owner stuck at 8,000 a month for 3 years straight. Same skill set as the woman doing $50,000 a month down the road. Same industry, sometimes a smaller market than her. What is actually different? It's not intelligence. It's not work ethic. Most of these women work themselves into the ground. We can all agree that owning a cleaning business is hard. What is different is the size of the business they believe that they deserve to run. So you will unconsciously sabotage anything bigger than what your belief ceiling is. You will underprice that bid without even knowing it. You do it subconsciously, right? You will avoid hiring the leader that would have replaced you in the field because You don't want to let go of control. You will talk yourself out of the opportunity that scared you and call it being smart. That's not a strategy. That's your belief ceiling protecting itself. So here's an analogy that might make this click. Think of your belief ceiling like a thermostat, not a rule. A thermostat that does not care what temperature you want. It cares what temperature it is set to. If your house is set to 70 degrees and it hits 75, the air conditioning kicks on automatically without you thinking about it until it drops back down. No one decided in that moment. The system just did what it was built to do. So your business runs the same way. If your belief ceiling is set at $15,000 a month and revenue starts climbing towards 20, something will automatically kick in to bring it back down. You will suddenly get too busy to follow up on bids. You will suddenly feel guilty charging what the job is actually worth. You could suddenly find yourself in that moment that the timing isn't right to hire, and you will secretly sabotage yourself. That's what the system, the belief system, is built to do when you're protecting yourself, right? So the good news is that you can fix that, okay? It's not permanent. Beliefs are built, and they also can be rebuilt. They can also be unbuilt, and they can be rebuilt. So before I show you how to break it, you need to know exactly what it looks like when it's running your business, because most owners cannot see their own ceiling. How many here think they have a belief ceiling and they're not quite sure, but they think they have it, right? Let me know who has it. Let me check in and see who's here. Hi everyone. Hi Amanda, how are you? How are you? So signal one, you round down before anyone tells you to. You quote a job in your head and then knock off $50 before you even send it, because you already decided in advance the client would say no. Nobody rejected you. You rejected yourself first on their behalf and called it being realistic. Okay, sign number two, you feel more relief than excitement when a big opportunity falls through. A commercial contract doesn't get approved, or a client cancels a big reoccurring job. And somewhere underneath that disappointment, there is a tiny, quiet feeling of relief. That relief is your belief ceiling protecting itself, because you have not yet decided you're the kind of owner who runs one, right? Sign number three, you explain your income with a story instead of a decision. So listen to how you talk about your revenue. If you say we're just a small market, or it's hard to find good help right now, or this industry doesn't pay like other industries, you're explaining your income with a story about your circumstances. Owners without a belief ceiling explain their income with decisions, so it feels that they made that decision. I haven't raised prices yet. I haven't hired a manager yet. So decisions can be changed when you want them to be changed, and they can be changed today. Your stories don't have to feel permanent, and that is exactly what your belief ceiling hides inside of them. So if you've recognized yourself in even one of these things that I'm saying, good, because that's the first crack in the ceiling. So let me show you what breaking a belief ceiling actually could look like in four different owners. Okay, Andrea Masfelton from ACS, Sydney, Montana. She came to me when she was about $12,000 a month. She was cleaning every day in a town of 6,000 people in an oil field country. Her belief ceiling was simple: a small town can only support a small business. But she never tested that belief. She just accepted it and built her whole entire strategy around it. So that shift did not happen when her market changed. Her market stayed exactly the same size. That shift happened when she stopped believing her town was the limit and started believing there was money in that town she hadn't gone after yet. So she found the oil field industry housing niche, and she built systems that could serve it. Went after accounts most cleaners in her area were not doing, that never would have believed they were available to them. So now she's running 40,000 plus months, and just landed a few months ago a big commercial account, $60,000 a year commercial account, in a market she used to believe that had given everything to her it could already. So her market did not grow, her belief ceiling did. So she went from 12K to 40K months. That's like a $28,000 jump without, without moving out of her town, okay? Second cleaning business owner, Amanda Ellis, Secret City Cleaning, Tennessee. Amanda was a solo operator making about $3,000 a month, doing everything herself. Her belief was not about market size. Her belief was about herself. I can't find good people, so it's on me to do it all. She figured she's not going to fail herself, so she can do it all. So do you understand how that belief protects her? It protected her from something scarier, the idea that she could actually lead a team and it might work. She was petrified of hiring, right? Hi, Amanda. I'm talking about you. She almost stayed there. Instead, she joined me. She joined Drop Them Up, and she rebuilt her systems, her onboarding, her leadership. She gave good people a reason to stay. She went through the hiring and firing as much as she hated it and just powered through it. Those systems worked, okay? It's the systems that work. So she now has a team that's growing past solo for the first time. She's more than quadrupled her income. She's 5x'd it, and now she's sitting at right around $15,000 months, and she's still growing. Owner number 3, Gloria Paul from A Greener Clean, North Carolina. She was sitting at about $15,000 a month. She was feeling burnt out. She almost quit alongside her team every day before we started working together. Her belief ceiling was this business cannot run without me physically in it, right? Which was so not true. So that belief was not about her market or her team's ability. It was about her own sense of worth being tied to being needed every single day. So stepping out of the field meant confronting that belief that had nothing to do with cleaning. If she was not indispensable, she was not valuable. So Gloria stepped out of that anyways, right? I pushed her. She built that leadership structure. She trusted people she had not fully proven yet. Now she's blown past 40K months, and she hasn't picked up a mop in a long time. Same team, same market, over $25,000 a month in gross. That came entirely from a belief shift, not a strategy shift. Owner number 3, Brenda Hagen, Done Right Cleaning in South Dakota. She had been stuck at $20,000 months for almost 2 years, not struggling. Totally struggling, not comfortable, had a bunch of dramatic cleaning owner, toxicity through the roof, right? Her belief ceiling did not sound like fear. It sounded like gratitude. I'm already doing better than most people in this industry and in this town. I should just be happy with this, right? That's when you settle. That is one of the sneakiest versions of a belief ceiling there is when you settle, because it wears the disguise of humility. She had the team to grow, right? She had it. She had the systems. What she did not have is permission from herself in her own head to want more than what already felt like a win. So I asked her a question, and that's what cracked it open. I said, if you already believed you deserve 50K months, why would you have said yes to this year instead of saying no to it, right? She had a list in under a minute, a second location, a commercial contract, talked herself out of it because she felt greedy to go after it, right? So now she's hitting 30 plus K months. Nothing about her market changed. She just stopped confusing gratitude with a ceiling, right? And that's the difference, right? That's the difference, everyone. What you believe. Amanda, almost 17K months. Hi, Micah. I'm not ignoring you. Welcome. That is crazy. Hi, Christina. How are you? I know, Christina. It's a lot about belief. That is crazy. I'm so proud of you, Amanda. Oh, my God. I'm so psyched. I'm psyched for you. Yay. I get just as excited as they do. I think I get more excited than you guys do. So let's talk about the mirror moment. Okay. I want you to actually answer this, not skim past this. Answer it right on the page here. What is the belief you've never said out loud that runs in every decision in your business? Is it something like, I'm not the kind of person who runs a big company? Is it people like me don't hit $1 million? That's for someone else. Like, what are you saying to yourself? Are you saying things like, if I charge what I'm worth, I'll lose everyone? Should I just be grateful for what I have? Like, where are you right now? So whatever it is, the uncomfortable part is this: you have been protecting your own limiting belief. And every time you underprice a bid, avoid a hard conversation, which there are hard conversations in this business, right? You're making sure your reality never proved the belief wrong. And that's what I strive to help you do, to hit those higher numbers and hire people and stop cleaning, right? That's not a character flaw. There's nothing wrong with you. That is a belief that has been running the show without your permission. You don't even know that that's happening. So if you want to actually find the number instead of feeling it, do this exercise right now, okay? If you're watching this on replay, pause it if you have to, all right? Write down the number that makes your stomach drop a little, that feels almost embarrassing to say it out loud, like it feels uncomfortable to say, okay? The gap between, so write that number down first, right? And then write the one that's almost embarrassing to say. And then the gap between those two numbers is not a strategy gap. That gap is entirely made of belief. Everything you would need operationally to hit that second number. So let's say you have $15,000 months, and let's say you have $32,000 months, okay? Everything you would need operationally to hit that second number, you are capable of learning how to do. What you're missing is permission from yourself, right? And permission is the one thing that no one can hand you. You have to decide that, you know what? I'm going to learn how to run a payroll. I'm going to learn how to hire people. I'm going to learn how to retain people. That is what you have to give yourself permission to do instead of the self-limiting beliefs, okay? So I have taught this concept enough to know exactly what is running through your head right now. So let's deal with it, right? This isn't mindset fluff. This is actual strategy. So I get it, why it sounds that way, but look back at the numbers. Andrea's market didn't expand. Gloria's team did not change. Brenda's systems were already built. The strategy existed before the growth did in every single case. So what changed was they let themselves finally execute on it. That is the difference. That is mindset without strategy. That is not wishing, okay? That is not wishing. Strategy without belief is a plan that quietly never gets executed. You can have all the strategy in the world, but if you don't execute on it, it never gets done. So you need both, but you already have more strategy sitting unused than you think. My market is really smaller. This doesn't apply to me. No. Andrea ran her business in a town that had 6,000 people in it. If her belief ceiling was the real limit and not her market, I promise you, yours is too. And the question is, there's never a ceiling in a market that size. Right? I have actually tested where it is. Brenda's also from a small town too, right? So you have to say things like, I already believe in myself. I already believe I can do this. And you're just going to teach yourself how to do it. So this is the one I want you to sit with the longest, because it's the most common disguise in a belief of ceilings, okay? Realistic and small often get treated as the same word, but they're not. Being realistic means looking at evidence. Most owners who say this have never actually tested that big number to know. That is a self-limiting belief. They decided against it before they actually even tried. So that's not reality. That's a belief ceiling. Wearing a business suit, right? What if I raise my belief and the market actually says no? So what? Then at least you have an answer, right? So then you have the real information instead of an assumption, and you adjust from there, which is a completely different position than never trying and testing at all. Andrea's market could have said no to the oil field niche, right? It did not. But she did not know that in advance. She tried anyways. She tested it. Most owners never get the real answer because they never ask the real question. A no after you tried teaches you something. You're learning something. A no gave yourself in advance whether or not it's going to work, right? It teaches you nothing except how to stay small. So your belief ceiling is prohibiting you from doing this. All right? Is that making sense, everyone? That making sense? Making sense. All right. So let's talk about the cost of staying under the ceiling. And I want to put a real number on this before we move on what to do about it. Because vague costs don't motivate anyone to change. So if your belief ceiling is capped at $15,000 a month instead of $50,000 a month, that's not a $35,000 problem. That is a $420,000 a year problem. That is over $4 million across the next 10 years in running this business, sitting on the other side of a belief you have never once written down and challenged out loud. That is all your fault. You are where you're at because you've been keeping yourself there. That number is not to make you feel bad. My goal is to not make anyone feel bad. It is there so you stop treating this like a soft topic. A belief ceiling is not a mindset issue you get to someday. It is the single most expensive thing in your business, more expensive than a bad hire, more expensive than an underpriced contract, because it is quietly capping every decision underneath it. I'm going to tell you about my own belief ceiling right now because I believe in telling you my story if you don't know my story already. So I didn't know it until it hit me in the face. I was cleaning a house one time years ago. I was solo cleaning. It was a 5,000 square foot house. I was on my hands and knees scrubbing this stupid lime buildup of a shower that I didn't know I couldn't get off without lime cleaner. I was doing with multi-purpose. And I charged this woman $150 to clean her house. 5,000 square foot house, right? Client sees me cleaning the bathroom, right? She walked in the bathroom. She looks at my work and made me feel like shit. Like I was beneath her. Like what I was doing was not worthy of that. And she started yelling at me. She started yelling at me saying the Brazilians do a better job at the beach house than this, right? And I felt less than. I ended up firing her because I wasn't going to take that shit. But it made me feel terrible, right? And the truth is that part of me agreed with her, right? Not because it was true, because somewhere underneath it, I believed that cleaning houses for a living made me less than at that moment. I believed I should have been grateful for the work. I believed 150 was already pushing it. I should have been charging her 350 for that size house, right? That belief was not about pricing strategy. It was about what I thought I deserved. And that moment when I fired her changed everything in my business. That was not a pricing decision. It was a belief decision. I decided I was not going to be less than anymore. I decided the work I did was worth real money, and I was the kind of woman that ran a real company or was going to run a real company, not just the kind of woman who cleaned houses to get by. So every price increase I did after that, every system I built, every time I stepped back from the field was proof I was collecting for a belief that I had already decided to hold. So that didn't feel dramatic in the moment, right? There was no lightning bolt. There was no dawn on me. I felt like shit. I felt terrible. The first price increase after that shower was small. It was $10, $15, right? And I still remember being terrified. Why would someone give me more money? You know, aren't they going to say no? But I noticed something that my business at that point, once I fired that lady, that business at that point, even though I was solo, didn't collapse. It didn't collapse. I started getting yeses at higher prices, right? That was the actual mechanism of the whole thing. It was not one dramatic decision. It was refusing to let that old belief win and let it creep back in. So my company, that 850,000 plus, didn't come from working harder than that person that I was. It came from believing in myself and believing something was different about me than me just cleaning a shower where I was making $150 for 4 hours worth of work because it used to take me so long to clean that house, right? So I'm not leaving you with a feeling. I want to give you something to do this week. I want to give you some actionable steps. So if you have a pen, piece of paper, if you want to write it down, I'll wait. I want you to work on these things so I can help you get through this. Amanda says 100% right. did this goal setting back in January. I was at 9K and I set my goal K for 20, which sounds like a huge number, but I decided to believe it was possible. You're almost there. Yes, you are totally almost there, and that is freaking awesome. And the next is 25. Let's keep raising it. So, okay, number one, I want you all to name your belief ceiling out loud. If you want to write this in the chat, write it in the chat. I read all the comments and I will respond to you either in the chat or on Facebook, because I'm connected with a lot of you on Facebook, okay? So this specific sentence, I want you to write down, I need to work on my mindset. That's it. That's the actual belief. I need to work on my mindset. All right? Another sentence you can write down. A small town can't support a real business. That's an icky one. That's not a truthful statement. All right? A small town cannot support a real business. Not true. This isn't Tumbleweed City anymore, right? Another sentence. I'm not an actual leader. That's not a good sentence, right? Right? That's not a good sentence. People like me don't hit 50K months. That's a shitty sentence. We're not going to write that down. You're going to write, I need to work on my mindset. Write that down exactly the way it sounds in your head, including the excuse, right? You cannot break what you refuse to name. And most owners have never once written their belief ceiling down in plain language, right? You need to look at it. You need to cross it out with red marker, right? Number two, I want you all to find the decision that belief has been making for you. I want you to find it all in your business. What decisions are prohibiting you from going beyond that belief ceiling? So every belief ceiling shows up as a pattern of decisions, not just a feeling. Pull up your last 10 quotes. Look at them. Look at your last 3 hiring decisions, or look at the last opportunity you turned down to be honest about why. That is your belief ceiling in action, in your actual numbers, not in theory, okay? And number 3, do one thing this week that only makes sense if the new belief is true, not the old one. If you believe that you're a leader, hire one this week. Hire someone this week. If you believe your market can support more, send that bigger bid. Don't be afraid. Don't say when things settle down, right? Evidence builds belief faster than affirmations do. And it only takes one data point to start proving that old belief wrong. Number 4, I want you to track your proof. Every time you act against the old belief and it does not blow up in your business, write it down. I want you to write down your positive steps, right? You're building a case file against your own ceiling. This is interesting, right? Most owners never do this, which is why the old belief always wins in the long run, and they can't go beyond that, right? There's no competing against that evidence stacked against it. All right. Number 5, get around owners, women or men, who have already broken that ceiling. You are still standing other. That's why the community of Drop Them Up and Sisters Elite and Rise Retreat is infectious, because every time these owners get together, whether it's on a call, whether it's at the in-person once-a-year retreat, their positivity and their power is infectious to each other. We're having Rise Retreat is in 1 month. Last call if anyone wants to attend. We have 7 owners coming, a few husbands coming, and we're gonna have a great not only therapy, but we're going to have a great 3-day conference that myself and my husband are teaching. It's right on the beach. It's all catered. You have all your own private rooms, and it is a time for us to celebrate one another, but also, I'm teaching about AI. I'm teaching about belief. I'm teaching about so many things. Company culture and retaining people. Retaining your people is one of the most important things you can learn about. So if you're interested, if you've worked with me, whether private or Drop Them Up or Sisters Elite, and you want to attend, I have a couple of spots left, so just message me. So that's why the community is so, it works because it's so supportive of one another. You don't hang around with broke people. Hang around with people making more money than you. That's how you grow, okay? That is how you grow and you break the belief ceiling, okay? Belief is contagious. If everyone around you believes small, you will believe small too, and it will feel completely normal to you. So proximity to a higher standard is not nice to have. It is necessary to have to grow. And the last thing, number 6, I want you all to set the number before you feel ready for it. I want you to set that number that scares the holy crap out of you. $50,000 months, $30,000 months, $25,000 months, whatever it is, write it down. I want you to write it down. Do not wait. It's not going to feel comfortable to you, ever. When you're growing, no numbers feel comfortable to you. They should feel exciting and scary at the same time. Because more money, more problems. No, more money means more systems have to be in place, more things you have to learn, right? So comfortable is the old belief's favorite stalling tactic. Decide the number first, then let the business catch up with the decision. The same way Andrea, Amanda, Gloria, and Brenda did, right? So the $50,000 month, $60,000 month is not reserved for a different kind of person than you. It is you, okay? Andrea she didn't need a bigger town. Neither did Brenda. Amanda did not need to find better employees first. Gloria did not need to find a bigger team before she could step back, okay? Brenda didn't need permission from anyone but herself to stop calling comfortable a finish line, right? I did not need a nicer client that day in the shower. Every one of us needed a different size belief before the business could become a different size. So your business is not waiting on your market. It's not waiting on your team. It is waiting on you to decide, are you allowing yourself to have it? So the question is not whether $50,000 months is possible for you. The question is if you actually believe you deserve it. And if you're actually ready to stop letting your belief run in secret and not let it out in the open. I believe you are. I believe you can. I'll do it. So now it's up to you to go find that ceiling and to break it. Smash it with a sledgehammer, right? If you're ready to do that inside of a room full of owners doing the same thing, that is exactly why I created Drop the Mop. I am opening registration in another week and a half. Okay, 7 spots only. Why? Because I am almost at capacity with my coaching. I am almost at capacity. My privates are just about full. I am almost at capacity. And I like to pour every heart and soul I can into all my clients. So there is a point where I will only take so many clients, and then I'm shutting the doors. So if you're ready to do that, I am opening the group program on Thursdays in a week and a half for new registrations. It's real coaching. It's real results. You can see in all my numbers. If you're in the Facebook group, you can see everyone's success story. And it is for real owners who are done believing that they're small, okay, and want bigger numbers. So let's drop the mop. Let's drop the mop, everyone. All right? I hope this was helpful. Do the exercise. Let me know what's helpful. Write it in the comments. I answer every comment. I read every comment. And I also connect with you on Facebook as well. I hope this was helpful. Have an amazing, amazing evening. And I will see you all next week.